Hello and welcome to our monthly update for Judero. After hearing some feedback, we really wanted to improve the combat and just add new moves for Judero. This is still work in progress, but you can see there are some cool new stuff. The idea is to make the combat feel more dynamic and make the character more agile and interesting to play with. Now you get to use your weapon in much more interesting ways. You spin it, you dash forward with it, you create whirlwinds with it, you create stone projectiles with it. So the next thing would be to playtest this change and see if our players like it more. Let's start talking about the monthly goals for April. Starting with some boat sailing mechanics, which I'm really excited about. This huge new area we're working on is full of islands, and you have a boat to sail between them. So we created a sailboat and put in lots of work to make it feel nice and look nice. Even though it's very easy to control the boat, we wanted to give it a nice feeling of Judero just going around and doing different things on the boat as you're moving around. And we wanted kind of a montage feeling of animation and the character jumping around. The player will spend quite a bit of time on this boat, so we want to make sure it's fun to be on it. So we're thinking about all sorts of new mechanics like a telescope, a map system, all of these that will make it more interesting to be sailing. But it should also be very easy to get back on the land when you need to, so we made this transition very smooth as well. Now let's talk about the themes and structure and flow of the area. The primary islands are obligatory, but the secondary ones are optional. The primary islands are the Isle of Death, Isle of the Forest Goddess, and the Isle of Beasts. These are directly inspired by fairy tales and Celtic mythology, and all point towards the greater theme of death and finality in storytelling. This area is looking at death as a central theme, a theme intrinsic to fairy tales. We also made plans about what's the general flow of this area and what sorts of mechanics and puzzles you'll be dealing with, which we can talk about a bit later. Now let's talk about some new enemy types. All these are prototyped and sculpted but not yet implemented in the game, so we'll be mostly showing off the models of them. This one is an interesting one that hides behind trees and does sneak attacks on you. These ones cannot move, but they throw projectiles at you, so you'll need to be careful while dealing with other stuff. And we have some crow type of enemies as well, which don't have a lot of HP, but they can be quite dangerous in large groups. While I look forward to implementing these new enemies, let's move on to some level design. Believe me when I say we've done a lot of rough level design because we just have so many islands to get through for this area. These are rough and will be polished later on, but they should give you a general idea of the scale of this area. And let's see some of them in action as well and give some examples of some new mechanics in this area. This is one of the main islands, the Isle of Death. As you can see, there is a feeling of Halloween here. The whole island is a cemetery. And we designed a puzzle that I think will go great with this theme as well. But that's for a future video. And now let's look at the rough version of the Isle of the Forest Goddess. And my new favorite mechanic. In order to beat this island, you will need to find a secret path up to the skies. So you'll find this invisible platform here, which is going to be only visible around you and only if you're on it. You'll go through a series of challenges, and I just like the feeling of walking on top of the clouds, on top of the forest here. This is a fun one as well. We experimented with a Mario type of coin challenge where you need to collect a certain amount of coins in a predetermined amount of time. And if you get to do that, you are rewarded, possibly with more coins. Sometimes you'll see some nice treasure chests, but cannot quite get to it because there are some invisible walls between you. Sometimes you'll see a floating treasure chest, which you can only get to if you find this secret path. That's it for this month's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked what you see, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again in next month's video.